All right. So we are going live. We're going to be doing another episode of the podcast talking about showing up for the shit you hate. But we're going to give it a minute before we tune in. Having some, not even really problems. My phone battery died, so I don't have Instagram or TikTok or anything up. Just LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook that we are live on today. But I'm going to give it a couple minutes, see if anyone's going to join me. As you join me, drop me a comment. Drop me a comment below. Let me know how your day is going. Let me know a big win for today. I always like starting the day with starting live streams with positive energy. So if you've got something going on that you're happy about, that you're excited about, that you're pumped for in the future, drop that in a comment. Let me know where you're at. Let me know what you're doing. And let me know how life is going. Because for me, life's going pretty damn well. So it's pretty exciting to be able to share in your excitement as well. So hopefully some people are tuned in and I'm seeing some comments drop in as we get started. But I'll get into what we're going to talk about on the show and a little bit about why. We're going to talk about showing up for the shit you hate. And the reason that we're talking about showing up for the shit you hate is because this is a lesson that more and more over time, as I'm in this industry, this is a lesson I understand that more and more athletes need. You know, it's easy to show up for the stuff we enjoy. And now if we can learn to show up for the stuff that we know we need to do, that we don't enjoy so much with the same energy, that is what's going to truly separate us. So we're going to get into the show talking about showing up for the shit you hate in 3, 2, 1. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Elite Development Podcast, the show designed to help athletes gain an edge on their opponent and build their dream careers in sport. I'm your host, Kenny Dusseault, and today we are talking about showing up for the shit you hate. The reason that we're talking about this, the reason we are talking about showing up for the shit you hate is because as I get deeper and deeper into this industry, as I do this job for longer, I've started to understand that this is something that so many athletes out there need to understand. This is something that so many athletes out there right now don't understand, that showing up for every aspect of your life, every aspect of your development as an athlete is important, not just the stuff you really enjoy. You know, because I've spoken with so many athletes, I've worked with so many athletes that when it comes to their sport specifically, they are absolutely the hardest workers around. No one will outwork them. No one will do more than they will. They will stay at, the boxing gym, the MMA gym, on the ice, depending on the sport. They will stay and they will practice their sport all day, all night, no questions. And that's just how they're built. That's just how they're wired. Now, the problem when it comes to some of these athletes is that they show up that way for their sport specifically, and they think this is what's going to make me a champion. This is what is going to carry me through to those top levels in the sport. This is what's going to carry me through to achieving all of my goals and dreams. This is what's going to separate me from the pack because I work hard, and they love to sit in that. They love to sit in being the guy or being the girl that works super hard. And that's great. And that is going to separate you from some people. Absolutely. But I hate to be the bearer of bad news. The person who works really hard in their sport is completing step 1 of about 100 of what it takes to be a professional athlete, and not only a professional athlete, but what it takes to be a champion. Because showing up for your sport when you have a desire to make your sport your career is easy. Showing up for your sport when you're tired, when that's what you actually enjoy doing and that's how you actually like spending your day, is easy. This is what every athlete out there that is ever going to have a chance of being anything is doing already. And something that I've spoken about a lot on this show, something that I get into very consistently because this is a huge passion of mine, is that if you are truly going to reach the top level, you need to separate yourself. Because in any sport, there are millions of kids growing up wanting the same things that you want. If you want to be a professional, if you want to be a world champion, whatever that goal is for you, there are millions of other people with either the same or a very similar goal. So if you're going to be the one to achieve it, I'm not sitting here saying it's impossible, because I believe that whatever you put your mind to, you can accomplish. But if you're going to be the one to achieve it, you need to be different. You need to be doing more than all of these other people are doing. You need to be going above and beyond what everyone else is doing. And so many people think that, I spend hours and hours and hours every single week practicing my sport, so that's what's going to separate me. But what you don't realize is that's what's separating you from the casual athletes that you train with that have no desire to reach the next level. That's what's separating you from that guy at the gym that just picked up the sport because, this looks kind of fun. That's not what's going to separate you from your competition at the top level, right? So if you're in your gym right now, speaking to combat athletes, if you're in your gym right now and you're thinking, I'm the best guy here, I work harder than everybody else in this gym, keep in mind, that's one gym in one city, in one province or state, wherever you are, one. That's it. So you're not separating yourself by working hard at your sport. You're not separating yourself by working hard at your sport. You are separating yourself from the people in your gym that have no desire to become a professional. You're separating yourself from the people in your gym that are destined not to achieve the things that you want to achieve. And if you're serious about this, you need to do more than that. If you're serious about making this sport your career, you can't be separating yourself from the average Joe at your gym. You need to be separating yourself from everyone. And over time, as I've started to realize this, I've asked myself this question time and time and time again. What is it that separates the athletes that are actually able to make it, actually able to achieve great things, actually able to make their sport their career, become world champions, blah, 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 versus those who fall off before, versus those who, have a little bit of a career and then go into something else, those who don't make it at all. What is the difference? Because even athletes that don't make it at all generally work very hard in their sport in the pursuit of it, and then they're just not good enough. So what is the difference? Why does one person make it and one person not? And what I've come back to quite a number of times in recent conversations, in recent podcasts, recent discussions with athletes, is the ones that are able to separate themselves, the ones who are able to make their careers in their sport, the ones who are able to become world champions, are the ones that show up for the shit that they hate. They show up for the stuff that they know they need to do that they don't enjoy. So as an example, I'm a strength and conditioning coach by trade. I believe that I do much more than that for my athletes now, but that's a story for another day. But I got into this field as a strength and conditioning coach. I trained athletes. I did all their physical preparation for sport. And then that was helping them reach the next level in their sport. I know that of the 45, I believe, I could be wrong on that, 45 athletes that I work with, I could ask every single one of them, if you could take today and you could do strength and conditioning work, or you could take today and you can go practice your sport, which one would it be? 45 out of 45 would choose practicing their sport. I absolutely understand that. They are not here to learn how to do a better squat. They are not here to learn how to do a better conditioning session. They are not here to excel in the strength and conditioning gym. They are here to excel in the sport. However, the best athletes that I've worked with, the best athletes that I've seen in practice, the best athletes out there show up for the strength and conditioning work with the same energy that they show up to the martial arts gym, that they show up to whatever their sport is. And they do that because they understand that although lifting weights, doing conditioning work, all of that stuff that we're doing in the strength and conditioning gym, although that is not their sport specifically, being better in the strength and conditioning gym, making improvements in their strength, their power, their speed, their gas tank, etc., is going to serve them back in their sport. So because it's going to serve them, because it's going to help them, because they are going to continue to see improvements by doing the work that we're doing, they show up for that with the same energy as they do for their training, as they do for their practice, as they do for their skill work. And the reason this allows these athletes to separate themselves, the reason this allows these athletes to rise above where everybody else is because they are doing the shit they hate like they love it. So they're making more progress in their strength and conditioning. They're improving their strength at a faster rate. They're improving their gas tank. They're improving their speed, their agility, all of these things that are important for sport. They're improving these things at a faster rate than those who are either not showing up or those who are half-assing these sessions because it's not where they really want to be. Does that make sense? If you're listening to this, whether live or on the replay, just have a quick thought about that. Understand that if you can show up with better energy, you make more improvements. If you make more improvements, you're going to climb the ranks faster. If you climb the ranks faster, you're putting yourself in a better position to be successful and to achieve every goal you set for yourself in your athletic career. So if you do that with the strength and conditioning work, that's going to have the same effect, just coming from a little bit of a different angle. So what I want to challenge you guys, if you're listening right now, what I want to challenge you guys to think about is, do you show up for the shit you don't like with the same energy as you do for the shit you do like? Are you showing up to your strength and conditioning sessions at all? If not, that's a bigger problem. And we got a bigger discussion, a more important discussion to have. But if you are showing up, are you showing up with the same energy, the same passion, the same drive and work ethic as you are in your skill sessions? If that's not happening, you've got to ask yourself why. And let's dig into why, because I think that's very important as well. And as a strength and conditioning coach, I can take some blame on this. Generally, I find when athletes are not showing up with the same energy for strength and conditioning as they are for their skill work or anything else, it's because they don't see the direct benefit. They understand that it's important. They don't necessarily understand why. They don't see why taking time away from their skill work to build strength really is that important when they could just do more skill work. So if you don't understand that, let me explain it to you. Specific to the strength and conditioning work, the reason that this stuff is so important, the reason you need to be doing this and you can't keep neglecting it, is because, plain and simple, we're going to speak to martial arts because that's a large portion of my client base and a large portion of my followers. But plain and simple, your skill set is obviously massively important. I'm never going to tell you that it's not. But if you have all the skills in the world, but your opponent beats you to the punch every time, your opponent has more power, more speed than you do, so can take you down, can hold you there. Or your opponent can get back up if you take them down because they're stronger than you and they can just outpower you or outmuscle you. Now, even though you're more skilled than they are, you're giving them a chance to win. You're handing that chance away. You've decided that even though you did all that work, it's not that important for you to win because you're allowing them to be stronger, faster, and more powerful than you. Does that make sense? So coming back to what I was talking about there, what I want to ask all of you is, are you showing up to the shit you hate with the same energy, the same passion, the same enthusiasm, the same dedication as the shit you love? So strength and conditioning has been the big one that we've been talking about, but let's talk about the other areas as well. Are you showing up to your recovery days, sitting and just thinking about what you're going to do at the gym tomorrow? Or are you letting yourself truly relax, truly recover, truly refresh your mind so that you're actually ready to go back and train tomorrow instead of training through your recovery day, or instead of spending the whole time thinking about your sport and just keeping your mind busy and exhausted? Are you showing up to meal prepping? Are you showing up to, making sure that you have the right fuel for your body going into training with the same energy as you are to your training? So are you eating the right things? Are you learning about what the right things are to eat? Are you consistent on your nutrition, or are you fueling yourself like a child that's been left home alone for the weekend and then wondering why you're not getting so much out of your training? These are the little things that are going to make the biggest difference. The athlete that is well fueled for their training session is going to continue to make more progress than the athlete who's shoving a McDonald's burger down his throat or down her throat on their way to the gym. Are you sticking to a proper sleep schedule? Are you getting that six is even a little low, but are you getting that consistent good night's sleep that you need in order to show up at your best every day? These are the little details that are going to make the biggest difference. So if you're able to show up for these things, if you're able to show up in these areas with the same energy and passion and enthusiasm that you show up for your sport, now you're going to make more progress. Now you're going to rise through the ranks faster. Now, every single skills training session that you show up for, you're going to have more energy. You're going to be more alert. You're going to get more out of it. And in turn, even the hours that you're spending in the gym already are going to be more effective. And if those hours are more effective, what happens? You make more progress. If you make more progress, what happens? You start winning more. If you start winning more, what happens? You get bigger contracts, bigger opportunities. You start getting that. You start moving up the ranks. You start moving up the ranks. That comes with championships. That comes with more sponsors. And then you create the life you want from your sport simply by showing up for the shit you hate. So that is it. That is all. I hope this was valuable. If it was, drop me a message on social media. You can find all the links on how to do that in the show notes below on the podcast or on the YouTube channel. If you have any questions about anything you heard on the show today, I would love to talk more. Drop me a message on social media. Ask anything that you want to ask, and we can dig into that some more. Now, as well, if you're getting value from this show, I would greatly appreciate you sharing it with a teammate, sharing it with a friend, someone you train with, anybody that you feel could benefit from this show as well. This is a small independent show. I build this show through word of mouth, and every share, every comment, every review means the absolute world to me. So thank you all. I appreciate you. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your Wednesday, and I'm looking forward to speaking to you all again tomorrow.